Hello. I hardly ever really record anything, but today I'm recording something. Um, I'm working on my stuff for school because I got to take a quick trip over to Durango tomorrow. So I'm in my kitchen. You don't want to see the whole place because it's like really messy because I live in a trailer park. And so this trailer that I live in is like a 1976 model, something like that. And it was old. So when we first moved into this place, there was like dingy carpets and it smelled like really old, like it's been like mold. And so tore out the carpet, had some friends come over and help me um, gut it out and stuff, and then redo the whole thing, which is really cool because I don't know anything about how to do things, or as to try to dress up the place. And I was the only one working because I'm a single parent. So when you're a single parent, you're working all the time. So there was no time for me to really, take time off and work on this place. And I thought it was just going to be a slow progress, but it wasn't. It took only a couple of months to get done, and that was it. Pretty much a month and a half, I think it was. It was pretty quick, but I was, sorry. Oh God, I have that problem. I have that problem where sometimes when I have anxiety issues, sometimes, and then I start going off on my fingers and the hangnails and stuff. That's the worst. So, anyways, it's a nice little trailer. We finally got a unit in. It's a cooler system, and sorry, I had a bad hair day this morning, so I had to put on my hat, my trusty Colorado hat. I like this hat. It's like one of my favorites. I've been wearing it for a while now. I had another one, and it has a heart around it like this, and it's a what do you call those? It's not a color. It's a camouflage. It's a camouflage hat with a heart. It has the symbol of Colorado on it. So, um, anyways, I'm working on my stuff because I'm going to school as a medical assistant. Yeah, I'm going to school as a medical assistant, so I'm pretty excited about it. I do have a bachelor's degree in public health, which caters towards allied health. And so it's good that I can use or get into this field so I can use my public health and, use it in the medical field also. So I'm really excited about that, and also excited about a cushion, a cushion for my kids, and also for me to make a little bit more money. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. But currently, I'm working as a custodian at a school, so unfortunately, it doesn't pay very great because I can't. I thought I was going to have to get my stuff repossessed, and given back and stuff like that, and I give up on some stuff. But it's been a rough year too, just so rough. I hate this year. Like 2020 is like the worst year of my entire life. I thought there was years that were bad. No, this one is like the worst year in the books, completely. So, anyways, I've been watching. I get on here on YouTube sometimes, and I'll watch, your some of the medical trainees and stuff, and what they do on their education scale or education time too, and classes and stuff like that. So I thought that was very interesting that they can go into that they can like do a YouTube recording on medical assisting and stuff, and what they do on medical assistant and things like that, which is really cool because we do. I mean, since the COVID thing happened, we had to do everything online, and our lab time was kind of limited, which is understandable, but it was so hard. Oh my gosh, it was so hard. In the middle of all of this stuff, you see, I had to quit drinking because it was just making me so miserable, and I was not doing well in my studies. I was just not accomplishing nothing. And then to top it all off, my kids were suffering on top of that. Who would have known that drinking alcohol would make a child suffer? You know, I mean, I didn't abuse them or nothing, but I just, it was the fact that the presence of someone that you love who is drinking is not doing so great, and they know it. They can't, you know, they kind of like tiptoe, or they walk on eggshells around you, because if they say something or they get angry about it, then they start, you know, directing it towards you. You just go off on a tangent, or you get really angry, and then doors are slamming. I mean, nothing is happy in a home when somebody is drinking. Even though you think that there's nothing, I mean, I'm not causing any harm to nobody, but really it does. It causes harm to a household, and I found that out the hard way. And so my daughter and I didn't really get along very well. My son and I, we get along, but I can't explain it. I just I just didn't want to. I just wanted my kids to grow up really fast so they can live their own life, and I didn't have to work so hard, and I could have my alcohol whenever I wanted it. And that's the basic truth, you know. So I didn't have much of a positive, you know, saying about my children at that time. And I think all these years, I always thought it was like they were in a way of my life that I wanted to really truly live, which is being an alcoholic, being a drunk. And that's not, the reality is that you don't want to live like that, you know. Right now I'm happier. I'm going to be on my 5th month of sobriety. Now this is all so fresh for me as a single parent, because I started drinking when I was like 21 years old, you know. And I had my down, you know, my highs and lows, but I also, you know, and pretty much I drank to where I would black out. I didn't know what was going on. Lost my virginity. Somebody took advantage of me and lost my virginity, which was, I think I was psychologically, you know, tattered that way, I guess. But I tell people, especially young girls, don't go down that road. You know, if you're drinking or going to a party and then all of a sudden you start drinking, don't allow that to happen. Watch your back. Make sure there is somebody that you trust so much that you will that they will take care of you, because this whole drinking it doesn't do well by it's just not healthy. It doesn't make you think straight or sort of think right, you know. You can get in trouble. I mean, I could have gotten in trouble many times. I should have been thrown in jail, you know, for whatever, and it's really scary when I look back in my life on how I was and how I was drinking, and how I didn't really take care of myself in a way that I should have taken care of myself. Fortunately, I never, you know, I haven't ever caught any kind of diseases or anything like that. So, got pregnant with my daughter. She was my little rebound baby after my husband left me. My ex-husband, he left. I think we separated 2005. I think my son was like a toddler at that time. That was a hard time. When a separation happens and a marriage is broken, and when somebody is not happy in the marriage and leaves the marriage, you know, it hurts. It really hurts. And I became a raging alcoholic then, and amongst other things, like I developed bulimia and became very, very thin because I couldn't control my situation, and being a bulimic was really hard. I think it kind of was a comfort, which is really crazy when you do things like that, when you start getting into that kind of condition. When something traumatic happens into your life and it affects you mentally, you tend to reach for something that will comfort you. And I think one of the huge comforts, because I was not reaching out to God like I was supposed to, but the huge one was becoming bulimic. And because I couldn't eat anything and keep anything down, I remember that I couldn't even keep water sometimes down. And it was my stress, and I was always vomiting all the time. And so when that occurred, when the stress levels happened and the vomiting happened, where I couldn't keep anything down, I would gag, because I would cry so hard that I would gag, and then I would eventually throw up. Alcohol was my base to really get away from it and to be numb by it. But I was also a functioning alcoholic too. You know, I hated going to work with a pounding headache. I hated going to work, just coming home from a late night, you know, and hanging out with friends that I should have sincerely went home earlier, because I would have had plenty of sleep to rest for the next day, but that never happened. And I think this last go around on May 4th was my last straw, when I had enough. I went to work intoxicated. I knew I was intoxicated, and I tried to cover it up, and that was the worst, I think, that I've ever been to work. Was I just didn't want anybody to be around me, because I think you can smell the stench and stuff, and I wasn't feeling well at that time either. It was just like I felt so guilty, because all of a sudden I thought about my kids, you know, because my kids were just like trying, you know, I don't know what happened that night, but I was just, that morning I thought about my kids, and I felt so bad, and I was so heartbroken. And I went to work, and I finally broke down to my boss and told her all about it. And I said that I'm not in the condition right now to be here. And I honestly told her right off the bat that I've got a problem, and I need to quit. And I never have ever admitted that I had a problem like I did that day, that morning. She has a great heart of gold. I'm so blessed to have a boss that sat me down and talked to me and listened to me, and then really had compassion and empathy towards how I was feeling. And then I went to the bathroom, because I told her, I said I got a headache, and she kept trying to feed me like all these olives stuffed with garlic. Pimento, is that what you call those things, where they're like pickled? Oh my gosh, they're so to die for. She has these that she keeps in her fridge at work, and sometimes I'll sneak one or two at night. But they're so expensive, but they're so good. And that day she said, well, drink some of this juice and have a couple of these, you know, olives with garlic. And I did, and it was so good. Oh my gosh. So anyways, she fed me, or had me drink some of that. Made me feel better, you know, but I was still just like, oh man, I felt so horrible that day. And then she told me, you have a decision to make. You have something to think about, and a decision to make. So I went to the bathroom, because I had to go to the restroom, and I told her, I'll be right back. I got to go to the restroom. And on that restroom floor, I cried. I literally laid my head. I guess I was just so out of whack that I laid my head on that dirty floor and just sobbed and cried. And I'm going to get, you know, religious here, but I cried out to Jesus Christ with my face on the floor. And I just prayed to him, and I said, I can't do this anymore, Jesus. I need you to help me. I can't do this anymore. This is not what I want. I need you to help me, Jesus. Please, I need you. I need you now. So those were the words. That's all I could have, that I said to Jesus, is I need you. I need you, Jesus. I can't do this on my own, and I can't do it no more. I need you. So I got up, wiped my face, wiped my tears, cleaned my face up and everything, walked out the door, and I told her, I said, you know what? I'm going to go home. I'm going to pour out all the alcohol that's in my house. And then she looked at me and says, do it. First step, do it. Don't look back, just do it. So after work, I went home, had 2 bottles of champagne, I think it was, a bottle of wine and a full bottle of champagne and a bottle of Jim Beam. Yeah, wasn't alcoholic. Anyways, I poured them all out down into the sink, and my son walks into the kitchen and says, what are you doing? Looks in the sink and goes, what are you doing, Mom? I said, I'm pouring out the champagne. I'm pouring out the wine. I'm getting rid of all this alcohol because I don't want it in the house anymore. And I'm quitting. And then he's like, well, are you sure you're going to quit? That tells you a lot how much he wasn't sure. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him, because you never know. You never know when somebody says something and then they fall back into the addiction again. And so I just went ahead and did that and called it quits. May 4th, 2020 is when I quit drinking, and I got rid of all the alcohol that was in my house. So, and I'm not looking back. Sometimes when I have that in my head that I could have one drink and then it won't bother me. It's not that bad, really. I just have one drink. It's going to be bad because you remember that if you take that one drink, you won't stop. And I know myself, and I'm so proud of myself that I know myself that I can't stop, because I have that in my blood that I just can't have one. And it's hard when you try to stop. The hardest thing in the world for me, because I loved alcohol. It was everything to me. It was like I didn't want to stop, and last year during Thanksgiving week, that was all I did. I stayed drunk the whole week of Thanksgiving. I was not sober that whole week of Thanksgiving week. And my kids saw me, and I will never, I don't ever want to do that ever again to my children. And I think I'm preparing myself to be a good grandmother to my grandkids. And things are starting to make sense now. It's amazing when you get rid of the things that are that fog your mind. Any drug can fog your mind. Alcohol fogs your mind. I don't care what anybody says. Weed fogs your mind, and it kind of makes you stupid. Well, actually, it does make you stupid, but it does relieve pain for a little while. It covers it up, but just so you know that the drugs, they do a number on you and your mind and stuff. And alcohol is a drug, and it has fogged memories and our minds, and it's not healthy for you.
Are you still on the live?
No, I'm on YouTube now. It's not live, it's recording.
If you post this, I will see you.
I am posting it. You're not supposed to be here.
Where am I supposed to be?
Somewhere where you're not supposed to be here.
What? That makes no sense.
I'll just cut you out.
Like you know how to edit.
I can try. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.